What's up, guys? Monster Michael Todd here, and this is my review recap of East versus West 18. We're going to go over the matches real quick, and I'm going to briefly speak on everything that's been going on, just kind of give my thoughts real quick. First match of the night, Borman versus Dilly. That match was amazing. So Borman is a very serious threat. That kid is 22 years old, huge, big, thick hand, strong side pressure out the gate. Looked really good because Dilly is a big boy. Dilly, maybe 6'1", 6'2", maybe 305 pounds, big, strong. I mean, a lot of people say he's the next guy. If you take out the top guys in the United States or North America, me, Devon, Jerry, Dave, Corey, Todd, Hutchings, that's the next dude in line, right? Like he recently beat Marcel Raboza, bad dude. So Ricard gets a first round, Walls comes back and gets a second, and then Ricard shows very good awareness, goes for the top row, ends up getting the win. Great match, was very much a fan of that match, really enjoyed watching it. The next match was insane, potentially the match of the night. Ryan Bellinger, I don't know how, I've heard people say it different ways. I always thought it was Ryan Bellinger versus Alan Ford. Now, Alan Ford has got so much experience, and he looked amazing. But the arm of Ryan Bellinger looked so strong in round one when he stopped him. Boom. He's like, you can't pin me. That match was crazy. Now, what made that match even crazier for us is we're in the green room with Devon, Bob Brown. I think Brian Shaw was in there. And Devon starts asking people to bet with him because you could see that Alan Ford, the momentum had kind of swung Alan Ford's way. And then it came 2-1, and then it got 2-2. And at this point, Bob Brown's like, yeah, okay, I'll take the bet. We'll bet on this final round right here. And then it's so funny because when Ryan ends up winning 3-2, Devon's eating a banana. He throws his banana peel up in the air. He's like, I hate my life. This is where I'd lose to anybody other than you, Bob. But that part of the match for us was hysterical. But the match itself was amazing. Huge respect for both guys. I think that's Ryan's second win in East versus West. It's absolutely amazing. Match 3, guys. Joseph Moranto versus Ivan Portello. Ivan is shredded, and I'd forgot that he's a Spanish national champion. Pretty sure he's WAF champ, EAF champ. Dude's a bad dude. But Joseph Moranto is serious. The way he was able to just drive inside that hook and just stay connected real tight and just open up Devon's arm was spectacular. That young man is special. He's won all 3 of his matches so far. I expect big things from him, and huge congrats to that. Lynn versus Armen. Armen's such a nice guy. Like, he's such a gentleman, such a great dude, very pleasant, always a nice guy to be around. And he's very, very, very strong. But it's pretty much what I thought. I thought Paul might be a level ahead. And even with some difficulties round one, being able to pin or some fouls or whatever, Paul was able to come out on top 3-0. Awesome performance by Paul. Very strong, very patient. But Armen is a very strong young man. So, great match. Wagner Bordada was supposed to pull Manuel Bagula. Manuel was not able to get in the country due to something about his visa or something, or his passport. I'm not sure exactly. So last minute, they have Pavlo Derv step in. Pavlo, it was Thursday, we're at his gym, and he's sitting there hopping up on these thick handles, doing pull-ups and one-arm holds and stuff. Not prepared at all for a match. Thursday night, he gets a call. Find out Friday he's pulling Wagner. And Wagner was number 10 on the ranking, number 10 overall in the world left-handed for East versus West. Huge win. The way Pablo was able to just stick that post and pull through the shoulder press. I think that might have been round 2, and he just pulled. Might have been round 1. I think round 1 he's holding the press and he just pulls through it. And then they had a hard fought battle, but to see Pablo pull that out, Pablo's serious, guys. I think he's only 6 months post surgery, so expect big things from Pablo. It's always awesome to see Wagner. His girlfriend's actually an English teacher, so she was a really good translator for him there. But always a pleasure to see Wagner. We'll hope to see him again soon. People ask me about left-handed matches all the time. That would be one I would like to do. I'd obviously have to get my left arm in form. I got quite a bit of pain right in here, and then the shoulder. I think it's all connected, tendon related. So I need to do a little PT on that, kind of get my physical therapist to look at it, kind of come up with a game plan. But I think, like, if I had a match in 3 months or something, I think I could pull with Wagner or possibly Pablo, somebody like that. 3 to 6 months, something like that. I think that's pretty much where I can get my left hand level at coming out the gate and just improve from there. But those guys are very impressive and big fan of both of them. Matt Mass versus Irakli. I picked Matt. I picked Irakli. Rebecca picked Matt. And that was the only one on the card that we had disputed about. We did not end up making a bet over it, but I would have lost. First 2 rounds, and we talked to Matt. He goes, yeah, I didn't think I had anything. He's like, I didn't know where to go. And then by round 3, when he stuck that posting top row, like it was over. He took everything. And to see him come back from being down 2-0 and come back and win that way, like I told you guys, I'm becoming a Matt Mass fan. I'm a big fan of Matt and what he's doing. He's so emotional and passionate on the table. He has so many genetic gifts. It was good to see him pull out that win, and I'm excited to see what's next for him. I don't know if he's going to right-handed match next or left-handed match next, but serious threat, man. You can't let Matt Mass hit his move. If he hits his move, he's strong. Now, if you can keep him out of it, the lanes open up. But once he hits that he gets that wrist and high knuckle and strong dude. Devon and Alex Gadeshi, they were before that. They ended up pulling early in the card. First 2 rounds, spectacular by Devon. I had no idea he'd get those kind of stops that early, that high. But yeah, by round 3, I don't know if he got caught playing with his food or Alex just changed up the technique. I don't remember exactly. It just looked like all of a sudden Alex was in it, right? All of a sudden Alex was in it. And then, it's recently came out that I heard some people complain about the live stream that it wasn't 2 fouls on Alex. It was a warning, and then he gets a foul, and they foul him out. And then Haristo came and apologized for his mistake. That being said, that at the end of that match, it looked to me like Alex had turned the momentum around his way, and he was going to come out on top. But we're not going to know. But I saw Devon make a video about possibly wanting a rematch for the Shaw Classic, wanting to pull him both left and right. That's somewhat unfortunate for me because I was hoping to get to pull Alex at the Shaw Classic. So maybe everything is working out and I'll get to pull Morzov or somebody like that. So, but yeah, it's cool that Devon wants the immediate rematch because he's like, man, I at the time, I wouldn't want to win that way, but I'm so tired, But yeah, so if there was that era, which it ended up being that was the case, we'd love to see them run that back. But to see Devon, and Auden even told me Devon's left doesn't have the same endurance as his right, but to see that happen round 1 and 2 was very impressive with Devon, just to show what he's capable of doing in such a short period of time with his left arm. Very, very impressive. Then you got me versus Zaranov. So slip strap, I hit my pronation cage back pressure, and he caught an elbow foul, and I was pretty happy with it. Hit it again, and I caught an elbow foul. Hit it for a 3rd time, and I'm sitting there in position thinking, okay, we're great. This dude starts this ratcheting, tug of war, jerking motion I've never experienced in my life. And I was kind of just like caught, like just blank, not knowing what to do. Because the first couple of times I didn't really notice anything. And then he started climbing and hitting sideways. And before he knew it, he'd compromised my top knuckle and my pronation, right? So at that point, I start climbing. It's too little too late. And then he comes into press. Now, if you go back and watch it, there might have been another elbow foul. There was a slight shoulder cross center when he pressed me. So technically it would have been a foul out, but he gets the win. And I was, like, dang, that dude's strong. But let me tell you the biggest difference in this match. Going into my corner and having Devon just stare me in my eye, talking calmly, rubbing my arms, and everything's perfect. It's going just as planned. I'm sitting there thinking, that wasn't what I planned. But what he was telling me was, he could tell that, it took more out of him than it did me. He was gassing at a higher rate. So then round 2 comes up. I actually slip, strap, and go hit outside. He catches an elbow foul. And then I hit again, we're going more this way, but he kind of stops me dead center. I don't get the drag that I wanted. Maybe I was trying to hit here instead of hit here. I kind of got stopped right out here in the center. And then he makes one surge basically straight to the pad and kind of rolls me over and touches me. So I'm like, okay, well, that's a pin. And then I hear Paul talk about elbow foul, check the elbow foul. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, his elbow came off the front before he hit. I'm like, well, yeah, go check the elbow foul. And once you go back and check it, you see his elbow came off the front of the pad before he made that surge. So ends up making it 1-1 instead of 2-0, which was good for me. I come back up for round 3. You hear Paul in my corner. We go straight to straps. You hear Paul in my corner saying, set your pronation. I'm like, well, I'm not going there. He goes, well, set it anyway. So I end up false starting a press. Come back, he shakes his head like there's nothing there, nothing there. So restart. I hit the press again, come back out, and when I do, I knock him off center, take some hand control. He ends up fighting quite a bit that time. He ends up getting an elbow foul. I go back in, false start again, right? So I false start again, and then fourth start, I hit to the press, and I actually don't hit the press. I hit sideways a little bit, then come out and get hand control. And so he has one foul, I have one foul, and he ends up fouling out, but he had fouled out way before that. When you guys get to watch it, go back and look when he comes into transition to press me, that final pin, but before he gets fouled, his shoulder is 3 inches to my side of the table. It's a call the refs missed, but he was real far across the center. Fortunately, he didn't pin me, so it's no big deal. But then we came back, fought a little bit more. I was real close to just pushing him sideways this way because I had so much here. And I was going to step up I was going to transition to a press, but my left foot was off the platform. So at first I had to get my left foot back on the platform so then I could stand up. And I thought, I've got a lot of this outside side pressure, so I just push. Then he transitions in to go for the press, and that's when he fouls out. And then round 4, I see him committing with his shoulder. First off, he's complaining about the strap, grabbing the strap. I'm like, he can't touch the strap, but I don't look at his face and realize there's some discomfort. I was like, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. So we tighten it up, and then he commits forward with his shoulder. So I know he's going to try to turn in, and I know I'm going to chop down. So he's going to run right into me, and I knew the flash was coming. So finished with the flash press, which was happy. I was happy about that. He wasn't injured, so that was good. So back on the winning column, I've had 8 matches in 16 months. I've won 6. I've lost 2. Excited to see who my next opponent is, whether it's Morzov, whether it's Gordeta, whether it's Jerry. I don't know. All right, so the next match is world title match. Fia and Ellen, I think is her name. Young lady, super strong, but my gosh, Fia is truly on a different level. The way she beat Bolin, the way she beat this young lady, just complete control. I don't even know who's going to test her for that right-handed title. And I think her left is almost as dominant. So amazing performance by her. And then kind of what I expected to happen, I told a lot of people that it was going to be very difficult for Morzov for Gordeta to pull 2 matches. Now, this isn't Gordecha's fault. Morzov was booked to pull Jerry, but the promotion didn't tell Jerry what the date was, and Jerry's brother-in-law got married this past weekend, so that he wasn't able to to fulfill his obligations. So Gordeta jumped in, and it was just too much. Like trying to do what he did versus Devon, going to complete exhaustion, and then a couple hours later to get back up there and have to try it again versus someone as strong as Morzov was just an unrealistic expectation. His CNS was just destroyed. And Morzov came out the victor. Now, does that mean Morzov wouldn't be able to do it? If they're both fresh, I think he's still a 55-45 favorite, but I think it'd be way, way closer contested if both these guys pulled fresh. Honestly, what I'd like to see is Zaranov versus Gordeta, or Zaranov versus Morzov, or Zaranov versus Fekov, because I think that guy's underrated. He is super, super strong. I told people were like, you're going to run him over. I'm prepared for war. This dude's going to, if you watch most of his matches, the ones that he doesn't win right out of the gate, he'll lose rounds 1 and 2, and he'll come back and by rounds 3, 4, and 5, he's stonewalling people and just crushing them. And so it was cool to be able to gas him out because he is kind of an endurance arm wrestler. So that felt good for me. Final match, Levan versus Ermes. I'd given Hermes a 25% chance to win, but I had predicted Levan would win 4-0. I had no idea it'd be that dominant. And the one thing that I saw on Hermes' end that might have been an error was Max loading into the hand of Levan and just basically having no place to go on go except hold on for dear life and hope the match stops. And it didn't. I don't know who's going to be able to stop Levan. His hand, his pronation, his top knuckle, his bicep connection, everything about him is the strongest in the world, right? So I do think it's going to have to be an explosive hit into his hand. So that means Vitaly has a chance at getting into his hand in the strap. We saw Devon stop him in the strap. I feel like if I had enough notice and time to specifically prep, I think I might could get a stop. But yeah, he's the favorite against anybody. He's the champ for a reason. Armes is a bad dude. I don't know who's going to pull next. Who knows? Maybe if I can win my next match, maybe I'll pull Armes for a rematch in December. But that being said, we saw, all the back and forth, the controversy, Eastern European athletes leaving and, everybody kind of taking sides. I've been at this for 35 years. Prior to King of the Table, East versus West, I've held a world title in pretty much every professional league. Arm Wars, PAL, NAL, UAL, WAL. So I've seen it. I've seen them come and go, right? Oh, this is going to change arm wrestling. This is going to change arm wrestling. This is the first time in history at a professional level, the best athletes from both East and West were able to compete against each other. Now, we've seen it at WAF, but oftentimes you got the best from the East. You never got the best from the West because there was no money, and the cost for us to travel was so expensive because, you know, you're taking your family, you're looking at $10,000 to go to WAF. And hell, that's Bora Bora. You know, I'm not spending that kind of money to go to WAF just to win hopefully sit on a podium and get a world title, right? So at a professional level, you had PAL, WAL, leagues divided. Even when it was UAL and PAL, leagues divided. East versus West King of the Table, you know, was brought about mine and Devon's match first in May of 2021, and then the first East versus West June 12th of 2021. And everyone working together towards a common goal of seeing the best arm wrestlers in the world compete against the best arm wrestlers in the world, regardless of where they're from. And that's got to be the goal. No one person is bigger than the sport of arm wrestling. I want everyone to get along. I want my friends to work things out. I want my Eastern European friends to be able to come to the United States and compete with me. I want to be able to go there and compete with them. I don't want this thing to end. I want it to turn into what we all think and hope it can be, which is a mainstream sport. But it just has to be. We have to be a unified front. Like, we have to do this together. We have to figure it out. You know, some personalities, we all have known each other so long. You know, some personalities don't mesh with other personalities. Then figure out a way to do it where that particular group doesn't work together. They have their own particular parts, whatever. And I don't have the answers, guys. I just know that I'm a professional arm wrestler and I want to compete against the best arm wrestlers in the world. I have goals, and to most of y'all, they're unrealistic goals, but they're my goals. And those goals can't be reached if we're divided. So I just want to, I put it in God's hands. I think God's will is going to be done no matter what. So I'm hoping that his will aligns with what is best for arm wrestling, and we get to see this thing flourish into what it could be one day. I'm basically just praying for everyone involved, for the fans. This is the first time in the 35 years I've been doing this that fans are spending thousands of dollars to come watch live arm wrestling events. You would ask us that 10, 15 years ago, we'd have thought it was impossible, right? But to see the excitement on some of these people's face when they get to see, you know, the athletes, even the referees or the commentators or whatever, just the excitement they see because they're getting to meet people that they've only seen on their pay-per-views or on their socials. And it's so awesome, you know. And I try to take as many pictures as I can, sign as much stuff as I can. The only time I can't is if you're trying to come get me right before my match, because I got to keep my head right. And I'm always like, hey, get me afterwards. I'll stay here as long as I need to. But I just want to say thank you to the fans for making the sport that in as much demand as it is right now. Thank you to the organization, Ingen, Robert, for Ingen, for you to getting this thing to where it's at. For partner Robert, for us to hopefully make it even bigger. And then for my fellow athletes, guys, it's your training, it's your level that motivates me and inspires me to keep going. So don't back off. Don't step away. I want to see you across the table from me. You know, win or lose, I want to find out who the baddest man is. And man, I love you guys. And I just hope everything works out well, and I think it's going to. But that's pretty much me. That's my recap. That's my take on what's going on. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. God bless you all, and see you soon.